All right, Cheryl Shaw.
Watch your agenda.
Okay. All right, AC Low. You want to go? What number are you, AC? 7.1.
You gonna go to agenda?
For
What number?
7-1 AC. What is it?
7-4.
7174. Okay. Chris Jersick. Come on. Yeah, 3 minutes, Chris.
Go Cap.
Eat them up.
It won't take 3 minutes. My name is Chris Jersick, and about a year ago, I had the honor of being introduced to the...
Chris, would you speak in the mic?
Yes, sir.
Get you on the record.
About a year ago, I was introduced to the Friends of the Chamber County Library. It's just a small group here that helps raise money for the 3 different libraries. We have a lot of little programs going on, like summer reading program that helps the kids at all 3 libraries. They have different crafts that I've gone over and watched, and they have a pretty large turnout that show up at each of the libraries. And it's free, because the money that the friends donate. They have a lot of children's programs, they have mommy and me programs, which I never attended. So, but they have a lot of different programs that they do out there. And some of the ways we get money, I know y'all are nickel dime to death for everything, but this is $5 a year. And there's a place on the forum that they have on the website. You can be a member. You don't have to show up to any meetings. We have 4 a year. If you want to volunteer, there's a list of volunteers. But I really encourage y'all and challenge y'all, because there's so many department heads in here. If you go back, and I don't know if you'll send an email out or you have meetings, and try to encourage all your employees to go on the website, pay the simple $5 each year, and it would really help the Friends Library.
So, Lauren, will you send that out, please? We'll get sent out.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, Miss Ira J. Eccles. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I came, good morning, County Judge Jimmy Sylvia and the Chambers County Commissioners for Tice, Hammond, and Mr. Daniel. I'm Dr. Ira Jean Eccles, and I would like to briefly address the court this morning. I'm here to ask the court to recognize the month of February as Black History Month in Chambers County. I'd also like to ask that the court recognize and remember some of the contribution services that have been made by citizens in Chambers County. Some of them are: James Bailey was the first Black valedictorian from Anahuac High School. Chester Humphrey, first elected official. Regina Lewis, first Black cashier teller at Anahuac National Bank. Michael Ricks, professional football player. Theodore Ricks, first city council person. Mrs. Doretha Rivers was the nurse to Dr. Nadal, and she was the first school Black nurse. Oh, I said secretary. Sergeant Herman Rivers was the first Black on the Chambers County Sheriff's staff. Linda Smith, first Black secretary to Chambers County Attorney. Bert Whittington III was the first Texas State Trooper. Kimberly Whittington was the first Community Service Continuing Education Director at Lee College. Lisa Whittington was the first adult Black probation officer in Chambers. And Nicole Whittington, first county treasurer.
Who is that?
Nikki, your treasurer.
Our Nikki.
The remainder of my time will be focused on Versi Callahan, the Sewing and Charity Club, which she formed. Mrs. Callahan was a homemaking teacher for integration and continued her work in the community by teaching a sewing class to the ladies who wanted to learn to sew. Under Mrs. Callahan's tutelage, sewing class eventually became the Sewing and Charity Club and presented its first scholarship to Annie P. Banks in 1976. Some of the recipients that are well known include Nikki Whittington, county treasurer, Graylin Richardson, a retired county employee, and Kenny Cathan, the administrator for the city of Anahuac. 2025 is our 49th year of presenting scholarships to graduating seniors in Anahuac. The club is having a fundraiser, a big breakfast, dine-in, or carry-out on Valentine's morning, 6 to 9 a.m. at Bayside Wellness Center. We encourage the community to come out and get your day started with bacon, sausage, eggs, grits, hash brown, toast, a muffin, and jelly.
Beat that.
Yes, all of that. The Sewing Club plans to continue serving the community in 2025 and beyond. Members of the Sewing Club will not be able to travel to Austin tomorrow. We wish you a successful Chambers County Day at the Capitol. Thank you.
Oh, perfect time.
Perfect.
And for the record, I've already written my check. I'm buying my staff Valentine's Day
Thank you very
breakfast.
much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, Ryan, are you ready to do yours, folks done?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go to 4.2. Discuss and consider going out for bids. Chambers County Parkway Phase 1 from SH 146 east, approximately 4,200 feet. Commissioner.
So for record, it's not square feet, it's linear feet.
Okay.
I'll turn it over to Daniel with TNP, who's gonna give a short overview of the project.
That's your name for record.
I'm Daniel McCullough with TNP.
Good morning.
I'm here to give a status update on Chambers Parkway reconstruction project.
Thank you.
Very good.
Got it?
It wasn't.
I think Kyle's working on it over here.
Okay.
Mr. IT.
Y'all want to be on this?
Quite all right.
Oh, yeah. Bear with us.
Okay. There's always something that will go wrong.
No, nothing's going wrong. We're just putting the big spotlight on the project. There we go.
Okay. That looks right. Okay. Would you hit play? If you would hit F9.
This is like a Zoom meeting. Somebody always can't unmute themselves for something.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, as you can see on the screen now, we are looking at reconstructing Chambers Parkway. See on the left that we have State Highway 146 and the intersection there. And on the right, we have Needle Point Road and Kilgore Parkway below to the south. We are reconstructing Chambers Parkway in 2 phases. So what we see here in red is the phase 1 construction, and then later this year, we'll look at constructing phase 2, which connects all the way to Needle Point Road. This provides just a brief kind of visual to understand what the roadway will look like as we're intersecting State Highway 146. It's a 4-lane divided roadway. We have some existing right-of-way along with other parcels that have been purchased through this area on the south side of the roadway, almost the entire length of the project. This is what the roadway section will look like. It's 4-lane divided. It'll have a raised median, bar ditches on both sides. The right-of-way width varies between about 135 feet to 150 feet, depending on that segment of the roadway. We have a pedestrian sidewalk on the right-hand side, which would be the south side of the road. And that would tie into the county's soccer complex that will be on the south side as well. One of the biggest challenges with this project and one of the biggest opportunities is with the drainage situation that's occurring currently in this part of the county along Chambers Parkway. You can see some of the photos that are added to this exhibit show what happened last year to a lot of the residents in Pine Meadows neighborhood. This was May 3rd, early in the summer last year. You can see quite a bit of flooding occurring between homes where flow is coming off of Chambers Parkway and flowing into the neighborhood between houses. You can also see in the bottom right photo that we have flow coming across the roadway, over the roadway, from properties on the north side of Chambers Parkway. So with the roadway reconstruction project, addressing the drainage issues was the primary concern. So on the slide here, you can see where the phase 1 reconstruction is located here in red. Along with that, I wanted to point out that we have an existing Kilgore outfall channel that the county already owns adjacent to the project. So our roadway project is going to connect to that, and we're going to provide additional detention for all of those properties and all of the flow coming toward Chambers Parkway. We're going to contain that flow in this detention and then outfall it into the Kilgore outfall channel. This property here that's outlined is the county's property where the soccer complex is going to be constructed. That detention facility falls on that property, and it also falls on the property adjacent to the south, which is the Goose Creek ISD. Now, the county has recently, and Commissioner Dagley has been a big part of this, negotiating an easement to house that drainage across the Goose Creek property, and we've been working with them to help negotiate that to make this project a reality for the county.
I just signed it this morning. Right now.
Excellent. This is a kind of a completed view of what that detention facility is going to look like, and obviously we have the property there adjacent to the detention facility where the soccer complex is going to go in, and Tom Rutledge will come speak a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff Choice with BRW Architects is handing these out to you guys. We went ahead and printed these out. They're a little bit bigger view, what we're going to show you here shortly.
That's fine, we share.
We share.
Say that again, bro.
Here, give me one more. You need that one? Yeah. They don't want to share with me.
Make mortgage. Oh, it's fine. Way more on the west.
And next one.
You're about done with those ones. Yeah, exactly. 460. Good. We took out all that stuff.
That one good. Very good. Good eye. Thank you. So as Daniel said, I'm Tom Rutledge with TMP. I've got with me Jeff Choice with BRW Architects. So we're partnered up on this project. A couple of things before we get into the slides and talk a little bit about the project. We've when we started the soccer complex last year, one of the things that we did is we started holding regular monthly meetings with Commissioner Dagley and Mike Gafford. That started back in October. We had our 5th meeting actually on Friday, so we've been meeting once a month since then to make sure that 2 things. One, we want to make sure that we're keeping in with the scope of the project, and we're also cognizant of the budget and the schedule. And so those have been really key for us, so that we don't want to just go design something and then bring it to the board for approval. So that's been real helpful, and we appreciate both Commissioner Dagley and Mike and their insight into that to help us to stay on target with that. And then a couple of other things there. The reason we're here is because, as Daniel noted, the drainage project is part of right next to where we're going to be doing the soccer complex. So this is just that big overall view. You kind of saw that a little bit before to give you context of where that is. And so here's more of a focused in view of that soccer complex. 6 soccer fields. We'll have in the upper right, the blue is the community center. Jeff's going to talk to you about that here in a minute. And in the center there is that little small building, blue building, and that is the Restream concession that'll support the soccer complex. The good thing about a project like this that we're able to take advantage of, with the work that's going to be done on the roadway and the channel drainage detention work that Daniel talked about, we're going to generate extra dirt. They're going to cut that ditch, and we're going to use a lot of that fill to fill up the soccer complex and bring it up. So the timing of that's going to be really good. So it'll help us to save cost. It's efficient. So effectively, when the detention project gets going, we'll really be started on the soccer complex in effect. And so we've got this synced up so that we're looking to come back to you guys in March to get approval to go to bid, just like we're asking for Chambers Parkway today. Next month, we'll be coming back to ask for permission to be able to put this project out to bid in April. Excuse me. But the idea being is that we'll go to construction in June of this year. So we'll see a lot of activity. Both Chambers Parkway will be under construction, as well as the soccer complex and the community center facilities all be under construction simultaneously with that. The schedule that we're looking at with us starting in June, when we come to you in March, we'll be looking at giving you a more defined schedule when we think the project will be completed. We're going to work with George's office, make sure we get all the documents ready so we can let that project for bid. So we'll be coming and seeing you on that, George, here in a few weeks on that. So I'm gonna let Jeff kind of talk to you a little bit about the community center building and what those structures.
Okay, so I'm happy to be here today to talk to you guys. This is a really cool project. We took the West Side Community Center, and we've taken all the lessons learned on that project and applied them to this project. There's some enhancements on this building from that one that include improved acoustics inside, simplified HVAC systems that'll go on the roof, and then additional power data to make the facility operate in a more functional way. Just took what we learned from Westside and applied it to this building. And I've got the fun pictures to show. This is the front elevation looking towards the side. Here's the entrance. It's still a concrete tilt-up building. It's a little bit shorter than the west side. We were able to save costs by lowering the ceiling to improve acoustics and then lowering the structure as well. But it's going to look great when we're. This is the Restream concessions building, placed in the center of the soccer fields. It's got men's and women's. Also has a family restroom. Has concessions, storage. All the program needs are met in this building. It's a little bit smaller than the one at the west side, but we were able to be efficient because of its location on site. It also has a covered area So then on those hot days, people can get their concessions in the shade and even have an opportunity to stay in the shade while they eat. And it's adjacent to the playground, and the concessions faces the playground. It gives them an opportunity to uh, out there, close up. And, we're really excited to be a part of this project, and working with Tom and his team has been great. Exactly. Any questions?
Question?
Good.
We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Big building over there. Playground? Yeah. So that's pretty good size. Yeah. Thank you. So Judge, I just want to thank TNP and the whole team. Like we said, we from the engineering aspect of the road to the soccer design, we've kind of meshed two projects into one for the most part. And one of the big keys to Chambers Parkway, Gordon Spirit Parkway construction is the drainage aspect. And when we started this project, I had no idea what the project influence would be on the watershed in that area until Daniel and Max and his team kind of brought to the whole watershed. And last May was a really eye-opener. We had a lot of flooding in the issue pre-Hurricane Beryl. We knew we had some issues in the area, and we took a lot of our data and put it into some, well, I didn't say we, well, the team over here, the engineering team did, and showed this watershed and how it flows through, and then how building the road would affect the watershed. And it was eye-opening. And at that point, we kind of went into a fire drill, so to speak, right? Because we realized we had a drainage issue. So we knew from the get-go we were going to be extending the Kilgore Drainage Project. Myself and the engineering team came up with a plan is we go back to Goose Creek Independent School District and really ask them to participate in this project, which would enhance the drainage. And I think it went from 140 feet to 355 or so. Is that right? So the width of the channel, it went from 150 foot wide channel to 350 foot wide, which is a huge amount of land. And I went and met with Goose Creek School Board and the superintendent and their maintenance and construction team over there. And they were on board. Nathan, our outside counsel, and myself negotiated with them a donation of this property, and they donated all the land. The school district did, and we're just we're really blessed because once this project is like it showed, it will redirect a lot of that water away from homes and into this channel and help alleviate some of our known issues. So not only is this a road project, an amenity project, this is actually a drainage project too. So we're kind of hitting all the marks in this, and that's what I'm really happy about. It's really came together, kind of a three-prong approach. So,
Zach, you have something?
and it has plenty of parking at the soccer field. I think it's 455 spaces at this point. Is that about right? Yeah. So,
All right. Questions? Motion by Commissioner Dagley.
motion.
Okay.
Second by Commissioner Tice. No questions? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, let's go. We got folks here on the 7, so let's go down to 7.1. Discuss, consider Bradley's house, 608 Miller. Renovation seal proposal in the amount of $438,000 from the Triple C project services for known and assumed estimated items of repair. Mike, you want to kick this off?
I will as soon as the mic gets.
There we go. Yes, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. So, through an extended process, I know purchasing was a big help trying to get this out for RFP. We actually had one bid, one seal proposal. That seal proposal includes basically everything that's known, everything that could be visually seen. That number was $438,000. In the packet, you can see it goes through additional costs for beam replacement, pad replacement for the shoring underneath. But one thing I would like to bring out in the clarifications and exclusions, basically anything found to be substandard structurally, anything rotten will be replaced, and that 438 could, in a minute, could go to 500. The add alternates included in there would be an additional, I believe it's, to tear down the outbuildings was an additional 71 grand, or an additional 19 grand, which bring that base total on the knowns to 509,100, and then to refurbish the garage and the two outbuildings, basically was another $94,000, which would bring the total to 584,100.
Plus unknown cost, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Plus unknown cost, correct? Unknown cost.
Plus unknown costs. Like I said, the base could go way more than 438.
Wow.
I think we're gonna hold off on those outbuildings, stuff like that. We're gonna look at what, go through this here with you, see where we can maybe cut some. And I may have some other partners that I'm gonna get with, maybe help us fund some additional stuff.
Be good. Talking.
We got the outbuilding and stuff like that, we're probably gonna just leave those for right now, so need to add those in there. I'm also gonna look at speaking with another organization, maybe to help fund some, if we need some of this additional work done, maybe can help fund with us, so it doesn't come out of county coffers.
I guess the question is there an appetite to do this? Or spend a whole lot more time on it? I know Triple C did a lot of work putting this bid together.
Hey, we've already spent a lot of taxpayer money on this place. I think it'd be a great location for the historical, well, but I have appetite to do it. We have a budget of $400,000. We can work within that budget and do what we can do.
So the options are to put the historical commission in the library. What was the cost on it?
So, yeah, I was working with CAI and their group on they're designing a library right now. We looked at adding an additional wing onto the library, which is 1,500 square foot. And known cost on that construction, without any surprises, is at right at $250,000. So that's 1,500 square feet, open concept. It has a restroom and a little small office area in it. Has access to their library's conference room. Those are adjoining rooms to both the library and what would be the store.
Do they have their own entrance?
Yes. Economically, this would be the best fit. And then that's a permanent structure added to the library. So further down the road, if things change, we still have that square footage for library. So.
Okay, I have two public comments on 7-1. Cheryl. Michelle.
I didn't realize I was going to be defending this position so much today. But I would just like to say that there's a possibility with using that house. You've already bought the house. You've got the money set aside to do the renovations. It's a little bit over what the projection was. And I think we could cut what you're going to do down to make it under what the budget that you had set, like the landscaping, the outbuildings, that sort of thing. Just that could be done later, or even with help from AMDD or their hot funds, because it would be a draw, historic tourism draw. We might could apply for grants, hot funds, whatever you need to make up the difference. But I think that it would be, the historical commission would rather have that house saved than destroyed or whatever you're gonna do with it, since you've already purchased it. And it is a lot of money. It's an extreme amount of money. But you spend that much on roads and ditches and drainage and that sort of thing. There's other part of the community as well that cares about culture and heritage and legacy of our history. And we appreciate that you consider that portion of the society as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, AC Low. And you have 3 minutes on your first one, and then you'll have a minute on your second one.
Okay. I have a couple questions. I'd like to know what funds were used to purchase these properties. I'd also like to know what funds will be used to refurbish them, where the funds come from. If they're from the COs, what projects were canceled or not done to allow these projects to be done? I don't remember seeing anything about the last CO about money to do these projects. I'd also like to ask if y'all know what the average cost of a residence or a house or a building in Anahuac is, because based on the numbers we just heard, and the big thing in those numbers is what they can't see. If you've ever renovated a real old place, and I have, you learn pretty quick that if you tear off one thing, you'll find one or two more things behind that needs fixing. So the change orders are going to be astronomical on this place. And the same goes with the Pine Island schoolhouse. I think it's very old too. And it's going to be a catastrophe. And I mean, I just don't see putting $1 million in a house in Anahuac. If you're going to put $1 million in it, tear it down and build a building that'll be there. Because if you have I don't know how old this, I think it was said that was built in the 60s, but it's going to be a lot of maintenance on that going forward, even if you replace all the stuff that you can find. It's still going to be a lot of maintenance. The same's true with that Pine Island structure that I think is very old. And I always said it seems obvious that the refurbishing costs will far exceed estimates. And from what I heard the gentleman say over there, we're probably already at 500,000+ plus the, I don't know, I've heard 200 to 300 for the house. That just seems to me ridiculous. So I want to urge the court to sell the house and cancel the Pine Island thing, and cancel both projects before you waste any more money. I mean, when you're talking about other people's money, maybe $1 million ain't a lot of money, but you're talking about our money, and $1 million is a lot. It can go a long way toward some needed project to maintain something that you already have built or looking to build. That's it. Thank you. I got through my 3 minutes.
Thank you, AC.
Thank you, AC.
Appreciate it. I'm proud of you. All right, 7.1 is where we are. Any other comments, questions? And I get, no ma'am, I'm not 7.4 yet. You're next though. The money, Aaron, the last CO?
Yes, there was a bit extra funds at a project that was funds too.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. So the money's currently budgeted out of the CO 23, which I think in CO 23 you had a project that was completed, a project's completed to help fund the renovations, and I think I was trying to look for it, but I think the property building was paid out of the general fund.
Enough to do all the change orders and all the renovations.
No, there's 400,000 budgeted for it.
They're gonna have to go. That's what they're asking for.
Okay. Motion.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, we don't have a motion yet. Yeah, the 430 that's a starting point at best. I mean, I agree with AC. I've done projects like this, and it's a gift that keeps on giving. So it don't ever end. So and even when we do everything, so we're basically dismantling the house for the most part and bringing it up to code. So I mean, majority of the historic value there is going to be gone anyway. It's just going to be a remodeled house when we get done with it. So, there'll be maintenance on it every week, so there's no doubt. Just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea to sink this money into this. And, I mean, we're offering a very nice facility at the library. So, I don't see the.
You got a minute left to come up.
Point here.
Ask a question, Michelle.
I have a question. He said, all we'll have is a remodeled house left, but that's not true. It will be a historic center. It will be a tourism draw. It's right there on the main street. It would be something nice for the community. In addition to the library needs to be a nice big library as well. There's nothing wrong with spending money on culture and heritage as well as ditches and roads and that sort of thing. So it's more than just a remodeled house.
Thank you. And there's no doubt in my mind we care about culture and heritage, and that's the reason we're looking at making a place in the library.
I'd like it to see us put it somewhere where it looks like it's historical, not just a metal building, and I think that's what we're doing. So.
Good times, yeah.
Just saying, we've already spent $200-something thousand on this house, and the court as a whole, department heads as well as everybody on the court is sitting on the house. Everything's wrong with it, like $4, $5, $6, $800,000 to fix it. We might as well give it away because anybody in their right mind is not going to pay a dime for this house moving forward. So yeah, we're going to continue having the maintenance or just basically deteriorate. So what are we looking at? We going to do a little. We said we was going to do this. I think we can do it with some partners. Just feel that we need to move forward and do it.
Well, Jimmy, we didn't say we were going to do it. We said we were going to look at it. And so, but go to your point. When we first, we had different motives when we bought this house, and we bought the house on the open market. But to sit here today and think that we can't sell the house is unfathomable. First of all, no, I know you're not. I'm just saying, speaking of, I mean, we're not going to. I don't think the decision is don't spend money and tear it down. So I want to be clear. The house will go back in the market. And if there's a community and there's a market for this and there's a demand in the community to do something in this house, it's going to be for sale potentially. And raise the money and buy the house. And maybe the county will participate in that project. But for us to go make this a county-owned facility when we have another option with taxpayer money for half the price at $250,000 a library is a tough pill for me to swallow as a commissioner, knowing it could take $400,000 to do this project, plus the $265,000, $275,000 we've already spent. So we're going to have nearly $700,000 into a house where we could sell it, even if we had to unload it, so to speak, in real estate terms. We're going to get the majority of our money back, which would almost pay for the extension of the library. So I'm trying to be a good steward of money, but also honor the culture and heritage of the area. And if there's that much demand for this, and it's going to be that much of a draw, I think the market and the market participants will show that, right? And so it's hard for me to sit here and say the county's taxpayer dollars. This is the best thing for the money we're going to spend. I mean, we have a lot of roads and ditches, and I know Cheryl mentioned that. If we do roads and ditches, we need to do the heritage stuff. But I got a lot more phone calls in my office about people flooding and potholes and needing more maintainers and needing a second road bridge crew and excavators and the things we just are short of all the time. than to fix the house. And I shouldn't say fix the house, to fix the house more than the threshold of what we can do another project for. I don't think the option is, I think Cheryl, if the house was repaired for 250,000 or 50,000 or 150,000, and it's cost efficient to do that project versus go to the library and have a brand new space that has the ability to function as a 1,500 square foot museum for the Heritage and Historical Commission, and then have the option to have a conference room to expand that into 2,100 square feet. There's a 600-foot space that you'll have the ability to use during events and special showcases. You have parking lots for school buses to easily get in and out of. This location won't have that, so the school kids to come. You could partner with summer reading programs, and you have a captive audience all summer long and all winter break long with kids and community members coming to the library, and they look next door and say, "What is that? We didn't know we had that here." And I think that's going to draw more people into it than a building on Main Street. I'm not against it. I just think if there's demand for it and the Historical Commission wants to raise money to buy it, heck, I'll donate. I mean, I'm not saying tear it down. I'm just saying, is this the best way to spend taxpayer money? And that's the question I have, is we have to make decisions on what's the most cost-effective and cost-efficient way to spend money. And with the unknowns of this project, and we know the problems, the same problems don't persist to John Smith's construction home flipping company, right? They don't have to go ADA. They don't have to do all the things that we as a county have to do. So they can go in there, buy the house, and flip out of it for less than $100,000 and make some money potentially. I don't know. I'm not a home flipper. But as a county, we have to go in there and, like Commissioner Hammond said, we're going to have to gut the house essentially and take a lot of the historical layout of the property and convert it to ADA compliance and really renovate it to be a safe place. And the bones will be historic, but at the end of the day, then what are we left with? So I would love for somebody in the community to buy it and renovate it and sit there and decorate it every Christmas and have holidays and see it and it never go away. That's what I would like to do. I just don't know if it's the best thing for taxpayer money. So
1 minute.
I wasn't aware when I first spoke that apparently what I'm hearing the plan was to spend all this money. I'm gonna call it 800,000, be conservative, and then give it away, give the building away. That's a little more charity than I think you guys should be contributing our money to without us having a say. I mean, most of these kind of things are supported by charities, but they're private charities that raise money and do these kind of things. And as well, if they put the building add-on to the library over there, they're going to have a flow of people coming through there that are going to find out about it, have opportunity to go right in it. Like Commissioner Dagley said, plenty of parking. So it's got a draw besides having to go, make a special trip over here. I don't even know where the house is. But if you go down the road here going back to the freeway and go by the Antiwhack Preserve building over there, good example of a standalone building that nobody's ever at, that historical stuff is wonderful, but I don't think it's the county's place to do it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. And nobody was on the court. We previously had a museum where JP2 office is that was shut down. There's just a lack of usage there. It's been years ago. All right. We beat it to death. I want to make a motion. One way or the other. Not everybody wants. Cheryl wants to make a motion.
So, I'm not sure what the right motion is. My motion would be to go with the alternative plan with the addition to the library. I don't know if that's proper to do.
That's not it.
shouldn't it just die for lack of motion?
It could die for lack of motion, you're right.
Like I said, I'd make my motion. I'm not making it.
I got a motion Motion to move forward on the Bradley House renovation. There's a second. No second, motion dies. And if you want to put on, the court next time, go forward with the library, historic commission at the library. You vote on that next time. Put that up. All right, let's go to 7.4. Janet, you're up. 3 minutes, ma'am.
Give me 3 minutes during an agenda.
3 minutes. That's our decorum.
It's gonna have to be a FedEx commercial then. All right, Jim Legault, welcome. I sure appreciate the opportunity. Pine Island School's not only got a lot of history to it, it's got a lot of sentiment to it. As you can see, if you even look at Facebook, all the people have gone to school there. What my recommendation is, and from what I've talked to people, that you want to make it an open concept. You've already got that at Double By School, which is now Donnie Stanley Community Building. If you keep this one where you have walls and not spend all the money tearing all this down, you would have more diversity. Let's say some people from Smith Point have to be displaced because of storms. You have individual rooms families could go to. You have different meeting rooms you could have, such as rice farmers, cattlemen, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Boy Scout troops, just to name a few that have used it in the past. Yes, go on and renovate it, fix it up, restore the plumbing, the electrical, the roof, the floor. But that is a very strong building that was built in 1954 and is brick and mortar, not sheetrock, something that deteriorates. So my recommendation is let me be included in this, as it was supposed to revert back to the family after instructional use of, after 5 years, none being done. My dad, Joe Legault, that sat as a commissioner for 24 years, donated it to the county to be used as a JP precinct where you could vote. I say, let's do it for voting. You can use it for community services, a bunch. And we have no community building in our area. So preserve the history, take care of the building, and you won't have to spend all that money knocking all the walls down. Try to use as much as what you can that's there to utilize it and make it diversified. I'd like to be included in the blueprint or your floor plan to see what's going on. And appreciate the comment to be able to address this to the Commissioner Court and the judge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, Mike.
Yes, sir. So to expedite the value consideration, while we're waiting on formal bid proposals, we talked to several local contractors, and the numbers were anywhere. So I just put them in $100 a square foot to $250 a square foot. This is a 4,823 square foot building. After the agenda came out, I do have two quotes. One came in at basically $124 a square foot, which is $598,000 to rebuild as existing this facility from what it is now. The other quote came in at almost $181 a square foot, which is $871,000.
Make sure we're clear up to the board. Those are just quotes that were given to us by contractors, not something we vote on. I had to take one of those numbers and go out to bid.
Budget
They're
number.
just, yes.
Yeah, these were budget numbers.
Yes, make sure.
Yeah, and that's what we asked for.
Yes,
That's all we needed, George.
You said that was rebuilding it?
Say, I'm sorry?
You said that was rebuilding it?
Yep, rebuild it using basically the structural makeup that exists there now, basically just putting it back in place.
Taking that one, putting the one up?
No, no.
Just rebuild?
Just redoing this building, yep.
That include a contingent or? Change orders?
No way to say that right now with just a budget consideration.
I didn't know about money going there.
That would come after we asked for hard numbers, AC. That was just a typical budget number, just to give us some kind of broad area of what it would.
JC, your time's up. Twice.
Yes, sir. I put 7-1 and 7-4.
Yeah, I know. All right, questions?
I think with the current condition of the building, there wouldn't be a whole lot of discovery work there, so things pretty much been good for the most part. So we went in there and did the asbestos abatement, which took out pretty much everything, so including the windows. So the roof has to be a complete rebuild. So one of the comments from one of the contractors was that we need to start over. So that's probably some truth to that. So going to spend more money trying to put it back together than you would be starting over. But either or, I don't see a whole lot of use for that. Be right there where it's at. So you have double Bible community building that's within 2 miles of that. So either or.
Yeah, it's
Goes back to how we spend the taxpayers' dollars. So what we get for that. I got to put this thing right here with the Bradley house. There's some differences there, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the same principle for what we're doing, same application.
Can I ask a question?
You got 1 minute left. I gave the others 1 minute, so come on up.
Okay, I can say about.
No, you gotta come up so we can get you on the record. Sorry.
No problem. When this was given to the county for use, it was in really good condition, with maintenance expected to be done on the building. And if you had to say one thing that took it down, no storms, it's internally because of maintenance. It was an excellent place for our precinct voting, for our community to use Dell computers for families that didn't have computers. It was useful from Quentin Jackson, Donnie Stanley, JP's using it. It was a very good, well worth building for our area, not double by Pine Island. So for that reason, look what it's being presented back as, a torn up building.
Thank you. Entertain a motion?
I got a question for Mike. The last, correct me if I'm wrong, but during Hurricane Beryl, is that when we suffered some roof leaks or some window breaking out in this building? Is that right? Roof damage?
Yeah, the whole,
I know
I guess
that's
that
what
would be the
cued
whole.
into this, right? I mean, that's how we got to where we're at today, right? I mean, I'm not saying it was damaged before that. I mean, it wasn't lack of maintenance, like Janet's saying, but I think what really kind of pushed it over the edge was the last hurricane, we had a roof leak, right?
Yes.
The whole southeast corner has been peeled back.
Oh, it was a peel back?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew there was something that happened.
We had
where-
no occupancy, remember that?
Yeah.
There had been no one in there. So when we were thanking the county for damage.
This is just FYI.
This is
We're considering market square footage on rebuilding pricing. We can entertain a motion to move forward with it, or we can, to not go forward.
my only other question is, have we researched, I know there was some discussion on the reversion back to the family. Have we researched that? I know
Bobby did.
Bobby?
Yes, all the other tracks revert back to the family. This 2 acres does not revert back to the family.
And Nathan looked at that too also.
All the tracks that surround it that they donated revert back, but this particular deed didn't revert back.
That's correct.
One last question, but you gotta come up. Y'all getting your exercise.
All right, the deeds that I've seen that you got for us, the Klein land in Clone, it went to the Lagos. That's what the 2.1 acres. Ralph Barra did the other 2 parcels. So I don't understand where that one's coming from.
Okay, your grandpa conveyed the 2 acres first. That's where
Yes, sir.
where the
Correct.
facilities are. Yep, then he conveyed a piece off to the east of it and a piece off the west of it. Those had reversionary clauses. The Crows or whoever it is on the backside conveyed 2 acres with a reversionary clause. So the 2 acres where the facilities are, he conveyed back in the, I think, early 20s or somewhere like in there. And it is ours now. It's ours. It's not, does not revert back.
You're talking about just what the building sits on?
The 2 acres where the building sits.
Okay, I'll check my deed.
Thank you. Nathan, will you come up? I'll put you on the spot, but you don't have to. I mean, you can research it if you hadn't. So if we chose to give it back to the family versus tear it down, if tear it down's going to cost more than cost the property, is there a way to get it back to the family if that's what we decide to do?
I think when you're selling, I don't think you can donate to private interests like that. It's not a reversionary clause applicable to that 2.1. You have to follow the local government code on how you sell property here. I mean, there's several ways you could put it up, auction it, hire a real estate agent, there's 1 or 2 more, but that's typically how the county's permitted to sell as opposed to just giving away land at private interests. That's usually a general rule against that.
So even though the president said with the tracks that surround it, we couldn't just bundle it together and use that as or the cost of reno or demo is greater than the cost of repair or selling. I mean, we all know that as it sits now, it has no value, right? Let's say it's cost of demolition. I mean, we could all be determining this in a professional manner, but if the cost of demo and renovate is greater than the value of its worth, we're zero.
If it's worth 0 and you put it on the open market and the family wants to buy it for 0,
that's what I meant.
That's where
I'm getting. Or go buy it for $1, right?
Right. I mean, I think that would be a good deal for the family to buy back at a low rate that nobody else is interested in.
That's what I was at.
And certainly we have the discretion to take the highest offer.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick.
So,
I don't want to keep beating this thing to death, but as it stands right now, the building's a nuisance. So essentially, we go around issuing nuisance citations for sites just like this. So really, at the end of the day, we need to do something with it one way or the other. Either demo it and get rid of it, or decide to repair it and get it back in shape where it's usable. Can't just let it sit the way it is.
And I am.
Can't donate it back to the landowners there the way it's in, the condition it's in. So.
Yeah, pardon the interruption, but I am in the process of getting demo numbers.
But I don't know why we can't sell it as is. And then it'd be up to the family or whoever buys it to do whatever they want to with it.
You could also donate it perhaps for a specific purpose to like a non-for-profit with the family. I mean, there's all kinds of exceptions to general rules.
Understand, but if we give it back to her and she takes ownership of it, then we're gonna go down there and give her a nuisance citation for the building the way it sits right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We want to avoid that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I mean, the irony of that is that's the situation we'd be in.
No, but I like David's idea. I mean, I love the fact that if we had a nonprofit that I don't know if the family has or set up, and then we can donate to the nonprofit, which obviously would create some tax incentives for the nonprofit, right? I mean, that's the best avenue for the nonprofit standpoint. I heard you loud and clear.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Dave.
So Are we gonna just, are what we're doing today is discussing, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have more trickled in costs coming, plus demo costs, and then maybe the next agenda item, we're gonna have a decision on which way to go with this? Is that what I mean, this is not an action item, is it? This is just more of a, for edification purposes?
That's a house.
You bring it back next time to go out for RFP, I guess. It's supposed to be an official.
Or to remodel, et cetera, yes, sir, that, one or the other, or sell, or sell.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, so we kinda need to see what the temperature is of what we wanna do, because we're dragging all these guys out here, and they're spending a lot of time and resources giving us bids for projects that we're probably not gonna do. So, it's not fair to those guys to do that, so.
No, we don't wanna go out for
Takes a lot of
RFPs.
time
I
and.
think we wanna make a decision which way we're
Yeah.
going before we do.
Yeah. But but in order for us to really assess, I mean, this is a good basis, right? We've had some proposals for basis, and to be able to provide to outside counsel, especially to make that decision, like the demo costs, determine the value. You're gonna have to have the demo costs and renovation costs to be able to provide to outside counsel to George's office. If we end up selling to the family or putting it on the bid proposal, sell it for $1, we gotta have some justification of why the price is set so low, right? It's because it's just more efficient for us to give it away for a limited price versus to do either of these other two options. And not knowing the demo number at this point, we can't really make that decision. So I think we do at least have to have a demo number, no matter what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we have that. What's the demo number?
I've got some, but I mean, I need 3. I think I've got 2.
Well, what was that?
Give me a
Give us-
ballpark.
Yeah, some-
The lowest one I got yesterday was 20 grand.
$20,000.
Yeah.
Then we have one as high as 49.
But I don't wanna demo it if there's an interest in the community to go another route.
That's my plan. I would like to get with the family and just see if there's a way for us to not demo it, but transfer it into, back to Legos and figure out a way to for them to save the building and us not just discard it. I mean, there has to be a compromise somewhere, and I think sitting down and talking to it is worth at least another quarter or two.
Especially if they can do a nonprofit.
Right.
So,
Okay, you wanna do no action, and then we'll put it on next time for sale?
Yeah.
Who's gonna put it on? The county attorney's office?
I would think so, yeah.
Work with Dwayne? Yes, sir. Okay. Right, no action on 7-4. I don't know where I am.
I don't either.
We're going to, BJ, we're gonna take care of you.
We got road projects.
All right, 5.1, public hearing, 10 a.m. to establish target reinvestment zone number 2, so it's 7:39 a.m. We will go recess from regular. What'd I say?
7.
Okay, 10, it's actually 10:40 now.
10:40.
10:40 a.m. We'll go into public hearing. BJ.
Thank you, Judge. This is a public hearing. It's required to establish a reinvestment zone for a planned development by Targa Train 11 LLC. They plan to build their 11th fractionation facility in Chambers County. It's going to be in a new reinvestment zone, a 214-acre reinvestment zone south of FM 1942. To remind the court, this is a planned investment of about $300 million, create approximately or a minimum of 10 full-time jobs. It's a production of 150,000 barrels a day of natural gas liquids for a fractionation facility. The terms that are going to be presented for the court for final approval will reflect that, consistent with Frac 10 agreement that was approved by the court last court. And just to note that it will include contributions for infrastructure improvement for $1 million and a community impact program contribution of approximately $250,000. So the public hearing is required. Your public comment related
All right.
to this stuff.
We are in a public hearing. Is there any public comment on 5.1? Hearing none, at 10:41, we'll go back into regular session. 5.2, discuss and consider order establishing target reinvestment zone number 2.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. This is simply the order that would establish a footprint for the 214-acre. All the appropriate notices or required notices were done and completed. The order is required to move forward with the abatement process.
DJ, when will these come back for final approval, or is this final approval?
No, for the actual agreement,
yeah.
probably quarter after next.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is just reinvestment.
That's what I thought, this is the ring.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Dagley. Any questions? Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 5.3, discuss, consider approving Chapter 381 Economic Development Agreement between Chambers County, Kentucky USA, Inc., pending permit approval from the city of Mont Belvieu. Commissioner Hammond,
Yes, sir.
BJ, you got anything on this?
No, I think they did, so. This is agreement we've been working with Talkie to, construct this plastics recycling collection center. So we've got through the agreement with them for the 381 agreement, which I think you have on your desk. We're finishing up the construction documents right now, preparing to go to the city of Mount Belvieu for a permit, so. Basically, Tokyo, the county will fund the construction of the recycling center, and Talkie will operate it. This will be community-wide collection of plastics. So, city of Mount Belvieu, they've already developed a collection program over there for the city.
So the city of Mont Belvieu would take their plastics here?
Yes, sir. Okay.
You gonna make a motion?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Dagley. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Nathan, come on up. 16.1, discuss and consider historical designations pertaining to the Thomas Jefferson Chambers Home and permit for the Texas Historical Commission authorizing the move of the structure. Good morning.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I think today's a big day for the Commissioners Court. I want to commend you and your efforts and the fortitude it took to get to this point. I think all this started a couple years ago whenever the county started acquiring land to build the Jail and Justice Center. Went through a temporary injunction hearing where the county proved that it was the rightful owner of the project, and then worked very closely with several levels of government, most notably the Texas Historic Commission, to make sure all the T's were crossed and I's were dotted regarding the Chambers home. We've been cleared for the 30 feet of property where the jail will actually be constructed. And then most notably, the state has voted to allow the Chambers home to retain its state antiquities landmark. And in Gonzales last month, Dwayne and I traveled down, and the recommending board there to the National Park Service also recommended that it retain its national registered historic landmark designation. So that has not been finalized. There's a 45-day process, but all accounts strongly indicates they will. Typically, the Park Service follows the recommendation of the state. Chambers home will retain all of its historical designations. The markers will stay in place, and the county has received its permit to move that home, which is approximately 30 feet, and will take place here probably in the next 60 days.
Great. Questions? Well, I appreciate the work you and Dwayne and everyone else has done on this, because it's been a long time coming.
Long time.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
And no action. Take 10 minutes. At 10:45.
Thank you. Me over a beer.
All right, court come to order. 10:57 a.m. at the recess. We're going to 7.2. Discuss and consider hiring Kirksey Architect for engineering architectural services for the new Legion Hall project based on the RFQ submission and subsequent selection committee interview. Mike, isn't that George? George, you want to take it? Go ahead, George.
Yeah, Judge, we did the RFQs, got several architects, and then the committee selected 4 of those and interviewed, and Kirksey by far was who they want for the Legion Hall. I think they're gonna put something beautiful here, so that's where we're at.
Yeah, I just want to thank George and Mike and everybody for the joint efforts that you put together, the committee as well. And like George said, every one of them brought their A game. We'd be lucky to use any of these guys for any projects, and we still have the East Annex that we're gonna pick an architect to do, so. But I'm looking forward to working with them, so I'm motion for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Hammond. Any questions? Those in favor? Opposed?
One question.
Go ahead.
You're rushing me here. Do we reach out to like the Gator Fest group and the Legion Hall?
I just want to get this here done.
Yeah,
I'm in the
okay.
process of working with the Historical Commission and the Legion Hall people and Gator Fest.
Can we please save the?
Yeah.
Okay, let's, the murals, we have spoke with that. George and them got an estimate. George, you want to elaborate on all this?
It's expensive, that's all.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
It's gonna be tough, guys, to be able, if they can do it, they think they can, but it's gonna be very expensive, probably in the $80,000 to $100,000 range to save these 4 murals and figure out how they're gonna implement them into the new design. Not impossible, just gonna be tough.
With and without?
Yeah, we can do that, Judge. We can ask them to do that for us. But at the end of the day, I think we need to show some respect to the Legion Hall in the sense that what can we do with these if we're not able to put them back in this building? That's the best way I can put that.
Dolly Madison saved the portrait
That's right.
of George Washington.
That's right.
We can save these.
So, just letting y'all know.
Yes, we're putting out the effort to do that. But like I said, they're not giving us any guarantees that and Mike and I discussed it as well, that when they go to saw them out since they are on the sheetrock, that they're scared that
The crumble.
it's gonna crumble.
Yeah.
So we're gonna document them heavily. And if something does happen, we'll recreate.
That was one suggestion by the architect. Hey, we can recreate these for you exactly as they are and recreate them. That's not what our Legion Hall wanted, and I understand that. They wanted to preserve what was there. So we'll do our best, I promise you, and we'll bring a tab back to the court to see what it looks like.
Yeah, just kind of like an alternate bid, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tommy, any other questions before I move on?
No, I thought mine was pretty simple.
Well, yeah, but I was rushing you, so, and we voted. Well, I called for a vote and Tommy asked a question. All right, all those in favor, we'll do it again. Opposed? Motion carries. 7.3, discuss and consider hiring BKP Design Group for architectural and engineering services for construction, new Watts Park show barn.
Again.
Hammond, you want to take this?
Yeah, just to say, it's an architect that's already bedded in. Tommy has talked to Mike's group, and this is who he wants designing the I want to use the correct word, the new
Pig
show
barn.
barn. I think I said pig barn and got yelled at, so it's the new show barn.
Tell you what, I agree with Commissioner. This has been big shows usually our biggest draw for grandparents and parents and visitors and everything like that. Having this here is gonna make it a lot more efficient, more comfortable for the people that are showing up.
Yeah, so the existing building, the north section of the existing building, it's in dire need of repair, so we've got a lot of the components are rusting out, so this here will replace all that, upgrade it, expand it, so we're growing every year, so it's just a good fit. I think it's a good spend for the money, so.
Looks like Commissioner Tice.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gore. Any other questions, comments? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Now let's go back to the top. 1.2, discuss and consider resolution appoint Chris Daniel as Chambers County Representative to through the Public Power Pool P3, we met with the representative. This is a Conference of Urban County, this is through the Conference of Urban Counties. And we are signed up with them for everything west of the river. And we save, I forget how much money they showed us, but it was quite a bit.
Over 80,000 last year.
80,000 last year. 23, okay. Anyway, Chris is the one who deals with them. I'd like to see him appointed as representative.
So, second, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Ties, second by Commissioner Dagley. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
Was you out there when they were doing
George.
He was there.
He was there. All right, 2.1, discuss and consider Brazos Valley Community Action Program Grant 2023 audit report, Aaron.
Yes, sir. So this grant helps low-income folks who need help with utilities, food, things like that. For 20, Landis from Indigent Healthcare manages the grant. We had no issues. Everything. We're very happy.
Motion to accept the grant.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Ties, second by Commissioner Hammond. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 4.4, discuss and consider the agreement between Chambers County Textile for the Adrian Combs Memorial Highway designation. Zach, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, this is just a standard TxDOT agreement for the designation for the highways for Adrian Combs.
For the signage. So moved, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Gore. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. While you're there, Zach, we'll go to yours. So we already done 4-1.
4-1 and 4-3.
We already did it. 4-1, okay, we go 4-1. Discuss and consider purchasing track off FM 3180, Project Katie.
Yes. So yes, this is just one of the tracks that Freeze and Nichols had basically called out as a track that we need to purchase and help try to prevent all the drainage, or not prevent, but take care of a large chunk of the drainage problems that we are seeing. This is going to also basically tie into the TxDOT system where they're expanding the ditch off of 3180 to reroute some of the drainage through the subdivision, away from the subdivision, sorry.
Judge, when that TxDOT project is complete, working, coinciding with Port 99, and that's getting this track on 3180. I know Commissioner Dagley was working side by side on this project when he first got elected. And I mean, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, this is going to affect about 150, 165 homes over there. Positive direction, really going to mind. And also, do note that this tract of land, the people that currently own it now, they were wanting to put tiny homes up there. And now this is going to be a great detention for the entire west side there. So it checks a lot of boxes for completion
Yes.
in a lot of areas.
And I'll just say that it's a voluntary purchase. We negotiated with this group in good faith, and they've agreed to sell the tract. It's not to say we weren't trying to
we're not
condemn it.
taking this, they're volunteering this track and we are purchasing it.
Yeah, well, we did do public necessity. We went through all those boxes, but during the course of negotiations, this seller agreed to sell. We're agreeing to buy. I think it's a great win-win.
Yes, definitely.
And the drainage project is going to be it's going to be a tremendous asset for us to. And again, it's a targeted area for Freeze Nichols for the overall regional drainage plan, regardless of even the TxDOT switch.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's still a
regardless of that
very
too, yeah.
it's 20 acres of needed area to slow down water, detain it before it goes into Cotton Bow in that direction, towards Cellar Station, and then eventually out to the bay.
So Aaron, is this the one you and I talked about, using fund balance?
Yes, sir. So the property isn't budgeted for this year. Either the general fund or the COs. They asked was, hey, can we use our fund balance and how much we have? We're working on closing the books for 2024. By end of year 2023, we had about 43 million. Our policy is 25 expenditures. That's about, we're 66%, total. So I don't imagine 20 will change very much. really up to y'all if you want to pull down some fund to buy this.
That was my understanding all along, or hopes from.
But just the fact that just the fact that the opportunity wasn't. Yeah. This wasn't something planned for. This was a really pop up opportunity to buy this tract and not plan for it. And knowing this is a quote unquote targeted drainage area, I think that'd be.
Yeah, the code lets you, amend the budget for these unforeseen events.
Okay.
Which you couldn't plan for.
Absolutely.
So move, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Hammond. And to approve the purchasing of the property and to use, to amend the budget for fund balance.
Absolutely.
You didn't mind spending the money on that, do you?
Right. Won't spend a whole bunch on cotton bows.
Yes, sir.
All right, got a motion second. Any other questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 4.3. Just consider planning requirements in regards to signatures. Zach.
Yes, so with Bobby's license going inactive, it's kind of up to the court. We discussed this a little bit back and forth. Bobby and I had another conversation as well. If the court wants to appoint somebody in the engineering department to sign, but then also Bobby and I were talking, looking at City of Baytown, I think City of Liberty Liberty County as well. They don't have an actual county engineering signature on their plats, so it's just the county judge. None of the reviews change. It's just the signature on the plats themselves.
Kind of want to sign off on them?
I can sign off on them if y'all want me to, or we can.
Well, it just shows that engineering has reviewed it.
Yeah, the review process doesn't change. It still goes through court and through our review. It's just another signature on the plat.
Once I was PE and.
So the engineer is not required.
We don't see anything that it is required on the plat, as long as you yourself, the county judge, signs it.
I think Zach should sign off on it also.
Okay. Yeah, we can change the name on the signature block and add mine if that's what y'all want.
Okay. Yeah, so Zach resigned, then come to me. You may speak, Bob.
Yeah, it goes through the DRC. Alfonso reviews everything. I mean, they go over it with a fine-tooth comb. And in the past, I took their what they did, and so that y'all had my name on it, and I just signed it. But I think just best just to appoint either Zach or Alfonso, somebody from their engineering department, say, hey, this is, we've reviewed this and it's good. That's all it takes.
Okay. Have a motion to add Zach as on the signature line?
Yep, so moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Tice. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Zach.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
6.1, discuss consider approving purchase of new playground equipment swings from Game Time Cunningham Recreation in the amount of $19,936.37 for McCollum Park.
Yes, sir. This is for McCollum Park, and we have some old swings there that will be demolished, and a new playground set will go in with 4 new swings, and we'll add on to the playground that's there now to make one large surface. So it'll be a big upgrade for McCollum Park.
Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Tice. Question? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 6.2, discuss consider going out for an RFP to replace 7 small pavilions at McCollum Park.
Again, at McCollum Park, we have, actually there's only 6 parking, kind of look like old parking structures that we're going to take down and add 7 brand new small pavilions that will very much upgrade the park as well. Working with Mike on this to get an RFP for the specs for it, but yeah, this can be a nice upgrade.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Gore. Big Jim Silva actually put those in. Okay. Any questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 6.3, discuss consider approving a temporary park use agreement for Anahuac Masonic Lodge in the amount of $95. Public Community Day at Fort Anahuac Park on Saturday, March 22nd,
Yes, sir. I've included some road closures in there in your packet. This is from the lodge, and I deal with Bobby Rogenbuck. So this will be a community day, a big day. They have a lot planned, so be nice.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Tice. Any questions? Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 6.4, discuss and consider touchdown for trees program from the Houston Texans and 1.5.
Yeah, we were reached out. Houston Texans reached out to me. They called me, and they wanted to do something in Chambers County. We were chosen. I think they had 63 or 67 touchdowns this year. So that's how many trees we're going to get. Trees, whether trees, plants, or whatever we decide. We have nothing to. We just show up. They're going to do everything. The local group that deals with the touchdown for trees. It's definitely going to be on March 27th. That's the only day Toro is available. March 26th, he's not, so it'll definitely be on March 27th. We definitely want Toro there and the cheerleaders, so hopefully all y'all can come out. The only thing we got to do is choose a park. Yes, sir.
Hammond Park.
I'm there. So the only thing we got to do is choose a park to have these. Whether it's west side, inside the park at west side, by the playground, or if y'all have any other options.
Any motion to accept? Motion by Commissioner Tice, second by Commissioner Hammond.
I'll send an invite for everybody. So,
Thank you, John.
Any
yes,
questions?
yes, sir.
Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 6.5, discuss and consider using a job order contracting method for the construction of 3 batting cages at Yellow Village Sports Complex, Jim Silva Sports Complex, and Don McClellan Sports Complex.
Okay, looking at this project, using a jock for it, we have a couple we've talked to, and once the court approves this, then we will reach out to one of them. Again, remember the jock is going through one of our co-ops. It helps for the procurement. It's quicker to get the job started. The companies we're looking at do this kind of work, this exact kind of work, and they have reached out to John. John has talked to them, so it looks like something we should use. But again, I want the court to be okay with it. If not, we can go out and bid it out. Either way.
Remind us what a job.
Sir, job order contract, a job order mainly for this kind of work. $1 million or less, and somewhere in that range. Yeah.
So do we just pick one and go with them, or do we get like maybe 2 prizes?
Once we get the blessing here to use a jock, yes, sir, Commissioner, we would pick one that has talked to John, and John says, I like the work these guys do. We're fixing to give them our job, our project.
They would give us a quote.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. And they, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. And they work within your budget, to make sure that, they're not coming back with the dreaded change order, I don't like
That's my fear. My fear is they work within our budget and know our budget.
Yeah.
Well, again, they've been dealing with John. John tells them, I need A, B, C, and D, and they know what they're going to come in and do. They're going to give them a number, and they're going to say, we can't afford that, or we're out of our budget. But these guys are pretty good about working within a budget. That's one reason they're so attractive, the job order contracts.
It eliminates the competitive bid process, which makes me nervous.
Yeah. So
Again.
we just experienced that a little bit with the EMS building over here, and miraculously that guy cut his quote 10% within a day. So that makes me nervous just going with one guy. Understand the process, it speeds everything up, but we've been waiting on batting cages for years. So I think a couple more weeks doesn't hurt anything. I think we'll go out for bid.
Okay.
Get a good comprehensive package together, and this is what we want off. That way all of them bidding on the same thing and get a good price.
Again, I'm listening, and I want to make sure we go the route the court wants to go.
Yeah, or if jock's the way to go, my question would be is can you get 3 people that do the same thing on the jock process and they bid it out and we pick one?
We basically did that for that EMS building. We spoke to more than one to make sure we were going to get what we needed for the amount of money. One more time, Commissioner, I'm sorry.
These jocks, do they not bid? Will other contractors bid on the same project?
So there's a state regulation they have to follow. The state's already vetted them out. What I would have done in 6 to 8 weeks, the state does for us and then gives us this list to work with. So they go through there, they already know, they're not gonna charge you more than, I'll just use simple math, $1 for a 2x4 as opposed to $1.25. There's a number that they have to sit there and follow. We had one that was local, but issues with bonding has got him out of the jocks. As close to local, we have Humble, we have College Station, we have Galveston, but not in Chambers County.
I hate to take the process away where our local guys can't bid on these.
So I'm hearing bid it out. Okay, I got you.
I say get a job price and bid it out, and then we'll just see where the chips fall.
Right.
I mean, I'd love to know the difference.
We can do that.
I mean.
So Jock will give you a price?
They will.
So the quote that I got about a year ago was, and I sent this to Commissioner Tice for the west side, is basically the Cadillac. I mean, we're there. To build that is the Taj Mahal. So we have budgeting funds up until that number, but I expect the number to be a lot lower than that. And we can always peel back a little bit. I mean, we were talking lights. I mean, covered. I mean, that number that I got you, I think last year, that's kind of the top of the line. And I think they're going to come back lower than that.
I do too.
Yes, sir.
I like the idea of comparing. And we can see, maybe Jock is the way to go.
This has got to be able to go out for bid, so we've got to make sure and go through court to make sure we're allowed to go out for bid.
But what I'm saying is can we run these simultaneously? Can you go ahead and get I mean, if we approve this today, to get a job, we're not tied to it, so let's go ahead and get a job quote and figure out what it is, and then maybe next court we come and approve to go out for bid as well. So legally, can we do that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely. So y'all are letting me talk to the jock, y'all are letting me say, hey, I can hire one of you, but we got to be happy with what we're getting.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
I think that's what it
Yeah, and then if we don't like it, then we say, hey, we're going out for bid.
Okay.
And again, to your comment, yeah, we waited this long, we can wait a little bit longer to do it right.
I agree, George.
So y'all gonna allow the jock, okay, so I'll let y'all vote.
Go get it, George.
Sir.
I think, like Ryan, everybody was, seems to be agreeing, we go ahead and approve this today. So it's my motion for approval.
Okay.
And then we
Or court app, just whenever we have it. Okay.
Back from the Hammond.
So just remembering, this is for 3 batting kids. This is for the entire project. It's not just one field. It's 3 different fields. Okay. All right. Good.
So I think we need to look at it. I mean, we don't want to put local contractors up for bid if we don't make them go through that process like you were talking about earlier.
Right.
So we look at the jobs.
So one thing the jocks do, they have to have subs, and they do use local subs. They try and help. They know what they're doing. They're coming in from out of town. They've got to try and use local. This guy at the EMS building, he's trying to find people to help with what he's got to do. Again, so Commissioner Gore asking about locals. Yes, sir.
It just can't be that.
I hear you. And again, just if you give us this, and we'll go from there.
I know if I operate in College Station, I'm going to come to Chambers County. There's going to be a premium paid for me. So I just worry that we're going to pay a premium if we don't have a local job. So that's my fear.
But if they got local contractors.
But you still got to pay the guy. The guy's making a cut.
Oh yeah, you do.
They're Cypress and Humble. Yeah, they're closer than this. This one was just probably the top of the line for that job.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's look at it.
All right, got a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 6.6, discuss and consider approving the transfer of $55,000 from CO 23 Parks 020 to a new account, new CO account for the purchase of a new vehicle.
Hey Judge, I talked to John a minute ago. I think we're gonna pull this one. I think we're good with what he has now. I don't think we need it.
Okay. Well, that. 6.7, discuss and consider approval to go out for an RFP for the construction of the restroom at Beach City Park.
Finally have an actual restroom instead of a porta can, Judge. I'm excited about this one.
What's wrong with porta potties?
I mean, I'm sure my little leaguers love the porta cans, but I don't think their mamas do.
I somewhere a guy got arrested for, he turned a porta potty into a deer stand and was on somebody else's land. Ready yesterday. All right, entertain motion.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second, I'm sorry.
Dagley.
Commissioner Dagley, second by Commissioner Tice. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed?
You don't spend a lot of time in those.
Motion carried. 6.8. Yeah. Discuss consider approval to go out for an RFP for new restroom, concession stand, storage building to be built at the Winnie Soccer Complex.
Yes, sir. Talked to Commissioner Gore about this. We're just ready to go out and get some numbers for this concession, storage and restroom. Hopefully it'll be something kind of like the west side. That's kind of what we're looking at. We already have the numbers from Musco for the lighting, so those are the two big numbers that we need. So I think this will get the ball rolling, and once we get the quotes back, then Commissioner, I think you'll take it to East Chambers.
Are we good with the MOU?
That's our next process.
Okay.
I've got to go sit down with Rice Festival. But I have spoke to them in a formal setting. They're on board.
Okay, good.
All right, so Mike has a question. Who's designing this?
design?
That's what we're.
The current design we have from west side?
Have some, that's what I'm just asking, Mike. We have some designs. I mean, right now I'm just being asked to go out for RFP.
Yeah, that's all we're doing. Go up RP. We're gonna have to get. We're definitely gonna have to get.
What to bid on it, they don't.
What are they gonna look at to give you a proposal?
We're gonna get with you.
Yeah, 3
You're gonna help us out.
We have some.
But we have some we can look at. We just
I got a
want to.
new one we're designing for the the Chambers Parkway, Gordonsburg Parkway concession. That's a really good plan, and we should be ready in about 45 days with those if you want to hold on. I mean, Jimmy, you might, if you saw that plan, it's a great layout.
That is.
Well, we can approve go out for RFPs. You guys can work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just I wanted to get
What's in
my
that
architect.
RFP? Yes, sir, Bobby.
Many years ago, in the Porterfield, there's 3 or 4 different types of restrooms. We got those plans laying somewhere. They need to go.
But this is a mix of a restroom concession.
Updated
And
restroom.
concession, Bob.
Yeah, but not concession.
But not concession.
And that's why I said, take the one that we're designing right now for the West Chambers County soccer complex that we just had a presentation about today. We're about 80 to 90% plan submittal right now. And they may have enough specs if we need to get with them like our next meeting or before.
And we do have a concession stand the one we built the west part. We do have that.
You do storage in there as well, aren't you?
It has a roll-up door.
There's several.
Well, does East Side have the money that?
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what CO he's pulling from has the dollars out. That's
Well, you don't have a
Get
price
the
on it
starting
either.
point code.
Just start. We have.
We got
Yeah, we have money in the CO, and I can get you that account.
That should be enough for 2 fields.
All right, entertain a motion to go out for.
We've been from Corworth. We did get a quote from Corworth, and Corworth is the company that builds it at their place and then brings it out. Mont Bellevue, I think, has 3 of these buildings, but when I brought that quote to Commissioner Gore, that was very high. I think it was at $350. That was too high for this project. Because we only have, I think, $800 for the whole project, lights for the building and for the fields and.
Commissioner Hammond.
So, you know, the old McLeod Park, all the Musco lighting systems are still intact out there and still standing. Does it make any kind of sense to maybe try to salvage some of those?
How old are they, Tommy, you think?
I'm not sure.
Can we have them? Didn't we already sell the property?
Yeah,
Ask lawyers.
Well, they may allow us to.
I'm sure they'd be more than happy to get more.
We can check with Musco.
I mean, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense.
If it's Musco lighting, Tommy, that's good stuff.
Yeah, so I think 4 of them fields had Musco lighting.
I think they're saying 6 lights at the new fields. 3 in the middle, and then two, 6 lights. So for the 2 new fields.
Just a thought, we did salvage some of them and use them somewhere, I don't remember where.
Yeah, we're at the very early stages. We just want to get the ball rolling.
Just a thought, we can reach out to Enterprise if we want to entertain that.
Perfect. Thank you.
We'll have to look at it.
Yep.
All right, entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Tice. Other questions, those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. I think we've covered everything in the agenda. What? Set consent. Precinct 1, consent.
Go ahead, Bruce.
3.
I'm always good.
for.
I got a question, and it's a simple question. I'm just curious. I just out of the loop and don't know. So 1928, we're going out for. We just approved a bunch of architects, and I'm assuming was there on 1928 we're approving continued efforts to get more qualifications for another architectural firm for the East Annex. I thought you guys selected like 10 architects and
We interviewed
40.
4. One was, we interviewed.
how many do we add to the list though? We added.
Oh, we had a bunch.
Why don't we have enough architects in our deal? Why are we vetting more?
I think the verbiage is,
I think.
That's why I'm
the verbiage
confused.
is a little wrong.
Yeah, I think the verbiage gotta be wrong, right?
Is it just for the committee to?
No,
We're-
because I'm
we're
just
just
interview
saying-
more.
Oh, wait, we got too many comments. All right, Mike, you, come on. Where are you?
We're going to look at the ones that are in the pool and evaluate some other architects.
Okay.
The one we had picked, not pan out, so we were going.
But
Okay,
do you
that's
need
what.
to go out for RFQs? Because y'all have already done that, you vetted these.
Yeah. Well.
I think, yeah, that was my mistake, Mike.
Okay.
Actually, no, we're gonna go to our RFQ pool. That's what I said.
Gotcha.
So you really don't,
I'm good.
We really don't
Making sure
need
we get
that.
we can pull
We can pull that.
1928.
Yeah, I think y'all already have the permission to do what y'all are doing,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Jimmy?
That's
We
it,
do,
this
yeah.
one.
Okay.
All right, so we'll pull 28. What other trouble you wanna make?
No, I'm done making
You got
sure.
any more,
Sorry.
Brad?
Entertain a motion.
So moved, Judge.
Second, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Tice, second by
Anything
Commissioner Dagley.
Commissioner Dagley?
Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries.
I didn't take my medicine this morning.
Come on, Thomas.
All right, I know we're gonna try to make a short executive session. Nail, selling purchase of real property, FMLA extension, consultation with attorney. 11:29, we'll recess to executive. Hi, court come to order after executive session. It's now 12:36 p.m. No action out of executive session. Go to 12:36. Adjourn.
Adjourn.
Y'all be careful.
See you then. Yeah.
We'll see you there. What are we doing? We'll go to dinner or something. Hell no. What do you think? Crocs? I'll work with.
Y'all.
Careful.